first is because I listen to almost everything on here. Uh, every discography up to probably into 2023 or up until like whatever new release came out that year. Yeah, I finished it that year. But I stopped at whatever newest release came out that year for adding to the playlist. So yeah, let's just get started. Um, 303, probably one of the most annoying out of the bunch. I I wouldn't call myself a fan of their music, but I will admit that there are some catchy. They do have some catchy songs. Um, their most popular album, which is I think "Want" is what it's called, is not a good album by any means, but there's some mostly good, or not good. There's mostly engaging tracks on there that I actually don't mind, and I'm kind of sick and tired of hearing their music, to be fair. So, in terms of seeing them live, though, I would not, I would not want to see. Uh, but their music is it's hit or miss. Most of the time, miss. All American Rejects. This is a band that I would classify as overrated for the entire whatever genre they fit under. I know that they're a rock band, but I don't know if I call them. I definitely won't call them emo, and I also wouldn't call them. They're kind of like between pop punk and rock. I'm not a huge fan of their first album, but I do enjoy their second album, which is like I think it's called Move Along. Basically, everything off that album except Dirty Secrets are bangers, and I would also not want to see them live because their music is fine, but I just don't wouldn't want to see them live. They're not a band I really care about. Acceptance is one of those interesting underrated bands that have, I would argue, a consistent discography if you don't count their first album. Basically, not counting their first album, everything after their first album is great. I wouldn't say there's an issue with their first album. I'm just saying um, it's not as like well thought out compared to the rest of their work. And their last album is actually pretty good. Now, and I'll say maybe because their music is good, but I don't know if I'd want to see them live. They're not really a band that would make me want to see them live. Their songs are very good though. A Day to Remember is a band that I liked a couple songs off of their Homesick album, but never checked them out. And then fully going through their discography, I like a lot of their songs. Now, seeing them live, they're definitely not one of my favorite bands, but I would probably want to see them live just because how great their songs are and how great their live shows, from what I've seen, are, would probably like a really fun experience. AFI is definitely probably in the same category. Like I love them. I love a lot of their work. I love a lot of their songs. Um, Seeing them live would probably be a really cool experience. Now, in terms of their discography wise, I do like uh, our I can't really pick a favorite album. I really like Black Sails album. I do also like the uh, I'm already forgetting their names, but the one before the album with Miss Murder, something sorrow, that one. I like that album. I also really like Crash. I don't understand why people don't like Crash. Um, they're definitely next to Day to Remember for me. Alkaline Trio is a band. It's easily one of my probably one of my favorite bands of all time. Uh, their albums really got me through high school. Now that being said, though, as they're kind of in the categories for acceptance. I wouldn't want to see them live, but I do love pretty much almost their entire catalog. I have not listened to their new album, but the single that came out, like Mine's Like Minefields, that was a great song. I'll definitely, in terms, and like I mean, listenable, like just listening, like not seeing live, but I mean, I would like acceptance and alkaline trio up against each other. Alkaline trio just beats acceptance by a long landslide. Amberlin, I liked I liked a lot of their like popular songs, and then I listened to their discography, and their discography is not bad. I'd probably put them in the same category as Acceptance. I like their first couple albums. Their last album was actually pretty good, but the way they're changing their sound is just so weird to me. It's a weird one. I'll definitely put them as yeah, they belong there. Armor for Sleep is such a polarizing band to me because I love a lot of their work. I love their album "What to Do When You're Dead" is one of my favorite albums of all time, and they their songs off their other albums are pretty good as well. But I really was not a huge fan of their last album. I did like their that single that came out, but their album to me was very disappointing. I will put them as they belong next to Acceptance for me. Atreyu. I don't like this band. I like their first three albums. After that, it is very annoying to listen to. Would definitely not want to see them live. Their the Curse album though is a banger though. I always go back to that album. Avril Lavigne. I feel like for Avril, a lot of the love I had for her originally probably comes from my mom just kind of pushing her music taste on me. And while I think I really do love her first album. I'm not a fan of the albums that came afterwards. There's some songs off their albums that are pretty good. And she was Mod girlfriend, which I did like. Mod is an interesting character. Um, I'm not really a huge fan of his music, I do just love listening to like his interviews and just him speaking. He has such an incredible mind that it really sucks that she did him dirty. So honestly, I just don't like her as a person. I'm gonna put no go. But her first album is great. Bayside is a band that I also really have a high appreciation for, but their music is it's very simplistic rock. However, their songs are great. Their lyrics are great. I love their live albums. Or is it live or acoustic? Acoustic, live and acoustic stuff. Honestly, great. Um, I will admit though. And I also love their first album. Their first album is highly slept on. I do really enjoy their music, but if I'm being honest, like I don't remember a lot of their songs, like Alkaline Trio, for example. So I would definitely want to probably see them live, just for the sole purpose of their songs are really catchy, and like I listen to was it their self-titled, the one with the guy on the rooftop. I listened to that album a lot in high school, but listening through their discography, I really love their first album a little bit more. However, Don't Call Me Peanut is probably like it's a staple emo song, and especially their acoustic live version or their live version of that song is just heart wrenching. Bring Me the Horizon is a band I don't like. Um, I just really can't stand the appreciation for this band, and it's like the same thing with like Falling in Reverse. Um, I don't mind their first album, but I really find Suicide Season to be almost impossible to listen to, and they don't do a lot of interesting things for me to consider or to even give me or to give them time to actually listen to their stuff. I listened to their first album. I put their first album on my playlist, on the When We Were Young playlist, and then I moved on to Suicide Season, and it gave me a fucking headache. I don't know what the hell they were doing, but like considering that I could listen to any other post-hardcore album, hell, even Skyla Drive is as much as that guy's voice is sometimes annoying, at least off their second album when they switched singers. It was still more listenable than Suicide Season, and like their newer stuff, like I would rather just listen to Crown the Empire, which in my opinion they kind of sound a lot the same. And also, I'd argue that Bring Me the Horizon has kind of stole some songs from Crown the Empire, but whatever. Um, yeah, now that that rant's over, I don't like this band. I like any other post-hardcore band. Oh, also like Dance Gavin Dance was a chore to listen to, but I would still listen to Dance Gavin Dance over Bring Me the Horizon, which we'll get to. Boys Like Girls, another band that I don't like. I don't like their songs. I I would argue they're actually more unlistenable than 303. Bright Eyes. I Bright Eyes is one of those things that it's kind of like Car Seat Headrest for me, where it's just like their music is really good, but I don't want to admit it. Like I don't want to admit that I'm not a fan by any means, but I love their music. I also like Connor's solo work. So Bright Eyes for me, I don't. It's not like out of all the indie acts that I could cry to live performance, they're probably not one of them, but their music is phenomenal. Black Veil Brides is the same thing as Bring Me the Horizon. Car Seat Headrest, but even worse because they just make even more unlistenable music. Rock. I mean, post hardcore is like more annoying because you have to deal with screaming, but rock, like it's worse than Nickelback. Or sorry, no, it's worse than Theory of a Dead Man. And Car Seat Headrest is kind of the same. However, I probably would want to see them a little bit more live than Bright Eyes. I will admit though that I think it's might just be the Car Seat Headrest sound and production, but I really just cannot remember any song from them, like how any of them go, which is a bit annoying. You asked me like what song I like. I mean, I'll pick the drinking and driving song or whatever it's called. Dashboard Confessional is a very important artist to me. I love the places come to fear the most, Mission Mark Scar or whatever it's called. Their other music is also not bad. I'm kind of with Billy Cobb in the uh, argument that even like the quote unquote pop stuff is just it's not that bad. Um, I would argue that it's better than the old stuff, but especially his last album was so damn good, man. Like his last song, I think there was like two songs on that album that made me cry. I will admit though, live is hit or miss because apparently there were some issues at the venue. I'm not putting that on him, but there were some issues just with him singing and regarding like microphone problems or something like that. Now, I will say that I will probably. Want to hear 'em more than Bayside. Dance Gavin Dance. No, but I understand. No. Yeah, there. Actually, yeah, there. Downtown Underground is just, or Downtown Battleground is such a good album. Uh, yeah, they're staying there. 4 Years Strong is just, I cannot get into 4 Years Strong. They're A Day to Remember just blows that band out of the water, and now I guess they're just doing punk music now, which I'm actually on board with. Their, I guess you could say, new direction is interesting to me. I really love their first album, but everything after that, new. Definitely here. Glassjaw, Glassjaw. I really like Glassjaw. Their first album is phenomenal. Their second album is even better than their first album, and after that, it's kind of like But definitely would love to see them live. 100%, probably. Yeah, before AFI for me. All right. Hawthorne Heights. I don't like this band. And honestly, they're just bad for emo as a whole. Like, they've ruined emo, they ruined post hardcore because of that bloody song, Ohio is for Lovers. However, like, when you consider what we have in the no go, I would listen to them over 4 Years Strong, Dance Gavin Dance, and the Dreadful Three. Horror Pops. I had no idea what this was, and honestly, it was pretty interesting. I would like to see them live, and I would probably put yeah, only I would put them above Amberlin if they wouldn't perform. What's that song? I already forgot the name of the song. It's not Audrey Start the Revolution. It's off of the album Before Cities or the album After City. It's off of the album Never Take Friendship Personal, and the chorus is so damn good. I can't think for the life of me think of what the name was called. But if they didn't play that song, then I put them above Amberlin. But if they do play that song, then they remain above Overpops or Horror Pops. I Prevail is honestly just what Falling in Reverse is doing now, but better. By all means, definitely put Oh, that's the wrong band. Definitely put Yeah, they'll get the crowd going. And then for Ice Nine Kills, I'm not a fan of their newer stuff, but I really like their older stuff. I like their first album a lot, and I like the album The Burning. Everything after that is just kind of But if they could have been as good as Census Fail if they kept the scene direction. However, I understand with the whole issues, and they weren't. They had to come up with their own thing in order to become big. But damn, imagine though post hardcore with the horror stuff instead of just like with their sound is just so damn good on The Burning. It's like post hardcore. It's like Senses Fail, but like horror. That would have been awesome. But I understand why they made their direction. I'll go and I'd watch a show probably once to see what it's all about. But oh wait, this is no go. I, I completely forgot. I was confused for a sec because I was putting all this stuff. Um, yeah. So yeah, I Prevail would go, maybe go. And then Ice Nine Kills would definitely be here. Yeah, but yeah, they're their first two. Well, their first album, I always have songs stuck in my head because their songs are so catchy. Highly recommend you listen to their first album. It's not on Spotify, but it's on YouTube. Jimmy Eat World. I love Jimmy Eat World. I love a lot of my love for this band kind of comes from One Tree Hill, and originally I was not a fan of Futures, but Futures grew on me and instantly became my probably I would say my favorite Jimmy Eat World album next to Clarity, and then Bleed Americans third. Everything else after that are just great songs, but their albums just don't hold candles to those albums. Yeah, I would love to see them live, and they're gonna probably be the first band that I'm gonna put in Moscow. Jaden, I w- with the whole Machine Gun Kelly thing and this pop punk quote unquote resurgence. His music wasn't terrible. It was definitely better than Machine Gun Kelly, but that's not saying much. I definitely would not want to see him live. And I did have probably about three of his songs stuck in my head whenever I was listening to him. Kitty is a band that I am so glad I found out about. I want to see them live. Their music is like, kind of just standard new metal, but oh my god. Watching live videos, like, I would love to see this band live. Knocked Loose. So, in Knocked Loose, I was a huge fan at first, listening to their entire discography up until Deep in the Willows. When I heard Deep in the Willows, it was like something in my brain snapped, and I wasn't a fan of them anymore. I don't know if their production was ass. I still stand by to this day that their production on that song is ass. And I just once I heard someone say that it sounds like a 12-year-old yelling at their parents because they won't let them on the Xbox. I kind of just like I lost it. My love for them. It's not. I wouldn't say my love for them. My appreciation for them just kind of went away. Um, by no means are they bad. Everything that I still like their song. I wrote a song about getting better, or whatever that song is. That's still a good song. Um, but yeah, I'm actually exploring more hardcore nowadays because of Sea Space Cowboys. So I'm gonna put Knocked Loose in probably the highest no go. And that's a compliment. Oh no, I got okay. So sorry, Little Huddy. Little Huddy was the person I enjoyed. Jaden, I did not enjoy. Uh, Also, I think it's just now Huddy. Royal and the Serpent is such an interesting. They're like I don't want to say like 303 but better, but like their music was very polarizing to me. I really like their song with that slush puppy guy, Eat Spit. Like that's a banger song. I don't care what anybody says. And then they like put out this weird, was it an album or EP after that was just phenomenal. Like they're such an interesting artist. However, I don't like their newer stuff. So honestly, I'm gonna put Want to Go for now. Seosin. I love their EP. Translating the name is amazing EP. Everything after that, no. So, however, their music might sound good live. So I'm gonna put Maybe Go and above Amberlin. Census Fail is still. I mean, they lost my label as my favorite, or not label. They lost my they lost the spot at being my favorite band to Alisana for 2 years, but now I've just come back to them, and they're my favorite band again. So honestly, uh, their music got me through high school. I love all of their music to this day. Their last album, well, it's my second least favorite to if there's a light at the if there's light it will find you. Um and then I like everything else. Fire's my favorite album. I've I've been listening to Let It Unfold You within songs because I listened to that album a lot in high school and I don't want to lose appreciation for it. I do have the deluxe version of Camp Still Searching and with the DVD, and uh I love that he did a song with Nothing Nowhere, my favorite artist, and it's just he's also really funny. Buddy Nielsen uh, TikToks and Instagram reels are funny. A great band, great band. Not my favorite post-hardcore band for the sake of post-hardcore, but just a solid band. State champs. Not a huge fan of this band, but they do have some great songs. They're not my like if I compare it, like what do I compare them to? Like Knuckle Puck or like Story So Far or Belmont. Like there's just a lot of better bands than State Champs. Definitely wouldn't want to see them live, but I'll put them above Knocked Loose. Now we have Story of the Year. This is a weird band to me because even when they went in like a pop direction, they still had some interesting songs. Like their song 2005 is a great song, but I don't like their music. I don't like their albums. But there is some good songs to come out of their catalog. Now, what really pissed me off though was when Rocked considered Page Avenue or whatever the hell the album's called a scene classic. It's not. There's far better scene classics than that album. No Go above Knock Loose. Sleeping with Sirens. Hate them just as much as Pierce the Veil. Oh wait, we're losing the plot here. My bad. All right, so now the infamous three is going to be Sleeping with Sirens, Pierce the Veil, and Bring Me the Horizon. Post-hardcore bands that I cannot get into. However, Pierce the Veil did drop some songs that actually. Yeah, Pierce the Veil I'm gonna give a little more leeway because I fell in love with the Let's Talk About Picking Up the Pieces. That song and not Jaws of Life. Emergency Contact is phenomenal. Their Karma Police cover is great. That I will give them a second chance. Sleeping with Sirens, though, that voice is so annoying. Not even annoying. It's just ear piercing. Taking Back Sunday, a band that I used to have a lot of respect for. I don't have any respect for anymore. I like Tell All Your Friends is obviously a staple. I have a copy of. I have a CD of the other one, the one that came out after that. And then that album with Carpathia. That was a good album. I really, for some reason, I just gravitate towards their self-title. I think their self-title is phenomenal. It's probably my second favorite album, if not favorite album, to Tell All Your Friends. And then everything after that is gross. So, no, I would not want to see them live. I also don't really like their vocalist. Uh, However, their songs, it's just okay. The Garden. Love the Garden to death. I don't think there's very few songs I actually don't like from these guys. Their music is phenomenal, and their music inspires my music, mostly my meme projects. I will definitely put them as a must see. Yeah. All right. The Linda Lindas. It's not my type of music, but they have some good songs. The Main. Very interesting pop band that like they have a lot of great music that I wasn't like when I think of pop, I think of the Main or good. Sorry, when I think of good pop music, I think of the Main. The Main has some really good pop songs. Definitely would not want to see them live though, because their music is just not my style to hear in a live setting. But I do love their music a lot. Ready, set, garbage. However, their first album or EP or whatever is just hilariously bad, and I really wish like whenever things get solved with Brad Tate's music, if things get solved with Brad Tate's music, that he will react to that EP or album because there's just so many bad songs on there that are just so entertaining. The starting line. I thought I was gonna like their music a lot more than I do. Their first album's great, or their EP. Their first EP is not bad. First album's great. Second album's also great. Uh, Definitely above the main. No, here. I don't know. I hear. Uh, no, yeah. Story so far. I'm kind of annoyed by the story so far. Um, their music is fine. I understand everybody's love for the band, but their music is just it's very specific time period. Honest, like it's 2010s pop punk revival music. I like more like the Wonder Years compared to these guys. Definitely here though. The Used, kind of the same as a couple others. First album's phenomenal. Second album is my favorite from them. And then there's some weird picks afterwards. I did not like their Paradise Lost, or I don't know if it's called Paradise Lost or the album with Paradise Lost on it. But I did like all of their deluxe songs from the deluxe version of that album. And then that one with like the needle on the album art is also pretty good. Um, but I wouldn't want to see them live. Definitely here. Wonder Years. Probably my three top, probably top three favorite pop punk band. Um, but I don't really. They're pop punk. They're serious pop punk, and I would 100%. I love their lead singer, and I love his solo project or yeah, solo work. Definitely here. My favorite album from them is their last album, but I do like pretty much all their work. Came Out Swinging might be my favorite song, next to Low Tide. Thursday. I love Thursday. There's nothing I really don't like about Thursday. And I like their last single was really good actually. Um, Not a huge fan of their first album though. I do love. I like I like the album, but it's not as hard hitting as all the others. And I'm one of the defenders of the album. I forgot what it was called, but the one that came out after War All the Time. I actually don't mind that album. I understand why people don't like it because of the production, but I actually enjoy that album a lot. No Devotion is I'm a little bit on the fence about, but then that other one that came out, or then the ones that came out at, like Something Lights, and then the one with uh like the one with Last Call on it, phenomenal. Post hardcore band is not a band I want to see live, but their music is great. I'll definitely put them in probably here. TV Girl. There's something weird about this kind of music. This, I guess, what do you call it? Lovers rock. It's so weird. It's such a weird indie thing that I really admire and enjoy. Um, I'm not afraid to admit that. Yeah, I'd probably maybe want to see them live, but I don't love their music as much as everybody else does. I like their song "Drift Down." That's probably like my favorite song by them. We the Kings is definitely not a band I'd want to see live, and their discography is so strange to me. They have some interesting pop songs that I actually don't mind, but they'll never be bigger than a one hit wonder, sadly. Because actually, I mean, to be fair, they don't have a lot of songs, or even sound doesn't distinguish from all the other music, and they actually sound like more radio hit. They're just a radio hit friendly pop punk band. Like, oh, even worse than All American Rejects, if you can, I'd argue. And funny enough, they're little Huddy is better than them. Alex G, another like one of my favorite like indie artists. Definitely have they have a very unique style that cannot be replicated. And the people that try to replicate either sometimes do a good job or they just fail miserably. I listened to a lot of their music in high school, and I would consider Alex to be definitely something I would see live. Probably here. Nope, here. Silverstein, band that I used to like. I really love their first album. Now it's kind of it's a weird band for me. This is kind of like so originally with Census Fail, I never listened to anything past Still Searching. And then Silverstein was like, "Oh, like I like some of these songs from all these albums, but I don't like all these albums except their first album." And nowadays they're kind of weird because I like their first two albums, but after that it's just picking songs. And their last album was very it wasn't very, it was mediocre, and I don't understand the whole appreciation for it. But it also did also kind of do something new. Now I will say this: when they were on tour with Rarity, I would love to see. I would have watched that. I would have watched them and Rarity live. Hell yeah. Um, and again, I'd probably argue they might be a band that I would. What is this? Oh, that was before. Um, they are also a band that I would probably love enjoy more live with those songs. So I will consider them to be like with Bayside. Yeah, that Manchester Orchestra, amazing band, one of my favorite bands of all time. Wasn't a fan of their last album. but everything else they've made, what's that? Bad Books is a great is great. That one, what's that one project he did? The right is a right away Captain Yes Sailor, whatever that one is. That's phenomenal. Definitely 100% want to see them live. And their albums really mean a lot to me. Their Cope album is probably my second favorite album to their probably most high regarded album, which is the one with like the tree on it. Um, Probably here. Mayday Parade, one of my favorite pop punk bands, probably top two. Have a lot of great songs. In fact, I the only songs I don't like from them are probably off their EP, like their first EP before the Lesson in Romantics. I know it's a very controversial pick, but yeah, I like pretty much everything else they've done. Their last album was eh. It wasn't all great, but it was good. 100% would cry to oh well. My Chem, I've I've spoken about this band before. So with my Chem, oh, this is actually not the. Oh, this isn't the right list. Okay, I'll have to fix that. This was before they added Death Cab. Um, Under Oath. Yeah, okay, we can fix that. My Chem, love Bullets, love Three Cheers. I hate the how over hyped and overly praised Black Parade is. Danger Days is not a bad album, in my opinion. Would definitely want to see them live, though, 100%. Like, the first time probably going to see them live would be an experience. So, in that regards, probably here. Now, Meet Me at the Altar. They're a good band. Definitely would see them live. I would probably get them. They're actually better than Stand Atlantic, and I don't understand how they don't have as like much of a big they don't have as big following as, compared to like Stand Atlantic. They're far better than Stand Atlantic. Motionless in White. This is a band that I refuse to listen to their discography. Oh wait, I keep forgetting the rule of thumb. Mom Jeans. I like them. I like their. I'm not a fan of Puppy Love, but I do love their song like Near Death Fail compilation, whatever. That's my favorite song by them. Um, their like Best Buds is good, and then their last album was also really good. I don't love them as much as everybody else does, though. So I'm gonna put them like here. Neck Deep. They've fallen off for me. I really love their album. Uh, the world isn't out to get you, but everything else is just no. Definitely going to be above Hawthorne Heights. No, no, they're higher up. Definitely above Story So Far. Nessa Barrett. I actually really like Nessa's stuff. And her last album is very good. Um, Now I wouldn't want to see her live, but I will. Probably put her in. Yeah, probably here. There's fine. Okay. Palais Royale. They're weird. They're a weird band. Some of their music hits. Some of their music doesn't. Definitely would probably put here. Paramore. Love this band. One of my favorite bands. I love. Or my favorite albums are All We Know Is Falling. They're self-titled and After Laughter. The others are just. Oh, and also This Is Why. How could I forget This Is Why? Their other albums is Riot is just so overrated. It's so overrated. And the other one, Bright Eyes or whatever, the one with the butterfly is not bad. It's definitely more enjoyable than Riot to me, but I don't like it as much as the other albums. Now, Paramore is 100. Oh, and I'm also glad they're independent now because they really deserve it. Paramore is 100% going in wanting to see them live. 100%. Definitely gonna. They're kind of like. They're actually bigger than My Chem for me. Uh, yeah. This. they're neck and neck. They're so neck and neck. Um. All right. Pierce the Veil. Better than Sleeping with Sirens. Um. Not by much. I'll still have to listen to their discography to consider them any ranking any higher than Pele. Poppy is great. 100% would love to see her live. And probably more entertaining than Kitty. I pretty much love almost all of her stuff. Uh, Prentice. I was surprised for what this is. Was it like a 15-year-old rapper? Uh, I really like. I don't know how you get a festival like get on a festival like this. Very interesting stuff. Uh, and I'll commend her for that. Wouldn't want to see her live by any means, but I'll definitely put her probably above neck deep. Paris. Love. Yeah, I love Paris. I love most of Paris. I don't like who they are as human beings, but and what I mean by that is I don't mean the allegations. I mean how the band reacted about the allegations. Um, I'm gonna consider Paris to be their live performance is actually pretty boring, but I'll put them above the U's. Actually, no, that's not gonna be that's not gonna fly. Where did I put? Where did they go? I always make this mistake. Where the hell did they go? Oh yeah, there they are. Okay. Nah, I'm pretty sure Pierce the Veil would probably put on a performance. Yeah, that seems right. Red Jumpsuit Apparatus. They have a really interesting. Was it an album or EP? They have a really interesting album or EP that I did not expect to love as much as I do. Um, I forget what it, which I forget what it's like when it was released, but I think it was like 2011. It honestly surprised me. Their music really isn't nothing to write home about, but I'll definitely put them above Pierce the Veil. No, probably have more energy than Paris. Okay, and now we're just going to now we're going to include uh, and also sure. Nope. Well, yeah, that's whatever. Uh, all right. Got here. And where is the? Here we go. Yeah. This stuff is nothing really like spoiling anything because this is all on the merch already. This is all on the Redbubble stuff. Um. Here we go. Well, let's just do. All right, Under Oath. I really like their album before Chasing Safety. Like I like their 3 album run. I like that album. I like Chasing Safety, and I love Define the Great Line. However, there's also some songs I also like off of their last album too, but I don't. It's not consistent enough to warrant like actually. I don't know if I'd want to see them live. What I'm saying, definitely above the U's though. Now, Death Cab is 100% a band I want to see live. One of my favorite bands of all time. Uh, my favorite. I don't really have a favorite album from them. I mean, Plans is great, but Translanticism is also amazing. Um, their last album was eh. It was all right, but really they don't have a lot of like bad music, if not any bad music. My favorite song from them is song for is it something Huck? Is it Kelly? I think it's a song for Kelly Huckabee. I think that's what it's called. Um, yeah. So they're kind of like they're definitely above Manchester, above the Garden, above My Chem, probably above Mayday, above Jimmy. Yeah, this works for me. All right, this is the overall. This is the final lineup. So must go 100%. Census Fail, Paramore, Death Cab, Jimmy, Mayday, Mike Hem for a first live show. Yeah, Mike Hem. But after that, definitely wouldn't want to probably see them live again. Actually, I mean, it's debatable because I know they play a lot of the songs that I like. They play a lot of songs off of Three Cheers and Bullets, which I love to death. Not a huge fan of Black Parade, which is all right, but I'm sure they'll probably put on a great live setting. Poppy is also the same thing. Kitty, I really, really, really would love to see them live. Garden, 100%. Wonder Years, obviously. Manchester, yeah. LXG, yeah. Um, I'm debating on moving this though to also yeah, and then they'll go here. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna change this a little bit around. Here and then yeah, this is okay. This is the final list right here. Census fail to Alex G, and then you got A Day to Remember, Royal the Serpent, Alkaline Trio, Mom Jeans, and then No Go. No Go's pretty big, but a lot of these, like, I do agree with. I'll stand by. I will never ever want to see Bring Me the Horizon live. Motionless in White, unless they change their sound a bit. I will admit though, they did have some cool merch back then. Yeah, Ready Set. I mean, as a joke, yeah, hell yeah. Not paying money for that though. Sleeping with Sirens. Your bet? No, just no. Jaden, I don't know. He might put on a good performance. We the Kings. They don't make music good enough to see them live. Huddy, better than Jaden. Black Veil Brides probably put on a good performance live, but the music is ass. Boys Like Girls, again, they're pretty much like We the Kings. Um, Dance Gavin Dance, I can't stand their sound. I mean, their music is not bad, but I would not be able to listen to that live. And 4 Years Strong, I made my point. I made my point. Yeah, this I thought about doing another good thing about doing this one is because I listened to all these discographies. Nothing would be going into Who You Bro. So everything is fair. Because I've literally listened to it. I forced myself to listen to all of this, except the stuff that I can't stand, which is this, and originally this. But Pierce the Veil is growing on me. I'm not afraid to admit it. All right, that's the video.